Thank you very much for coming today, and thank you to the UVU Spirit Squad and dance team for getting us started a second ago. And we are welcoming you here with great pride and joy to the site of the new NUVI Basketball Center. And I'm Scott Cooksey. I'm Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations. And it is just a pleasure to see this crowd here, the excitement that's going on. And Coach Pope. Yeah, we can't start without you, Coach. Or Coach Nixon. See, Coach Nixon, she took direction better. She's been sitting down for a minute now. And but thank you all for being here today. We've got an important, but we'll try to keep it as brief as possible program. But there are some important things we need to cover. I do know that it is hot and sitting in the sun, but we ordered up the cloud cover for a few minutes just for that. So one thing I want to do is recognize some guests who are here today. We have a number of donors who are here, and you'll hear their names a little bit later when we get to the actual groundbreaking. But also with us today, I believe we have a couple of our members of our Board of Trustees for Utah Valley University. Trustee Sunderledge, I know you're in the room. There's Jack Sunderledge right here. Glad you could join us. And Trustee Karen Acerson. So thank you all for joining us today. And we also have a few very distinguished elected officials. Wilfred Clyde, Mayor of Springville. I know you're here, Mr. Mayor. Wave at us. There he is. And I haven't seen Richard Brunts from Orem. Yes, thank you very much for coming. So, you've seen a lot of things over the past few years, a lot of buildings, a lot of excitement around UVU with structures and capital programs going up. This is athletics, and athletics is as important to the university as the academic programs. It's part of us being a serious university and to helping our students accomplish what they can achieve to. We're just in our third year in the WAC conference, but we've positioned ourselves as a force already. We've won 10 conference championships in those 3 years. We won 4 of those just this past year. And this new center will take the basketball program to new heights that we're not able to achieve without this kind of facility. This new center is being built completely with private funding. That in itself is an achievement. Yeah, just round of applause. Thanks to the leadership of Coach Pope and Coach Nixon, we have many great things in store ahead of us to build on the legacy that they've started. Of course, Coach Pope is only entering his second season. He's still a rookie at UVU. He's getting past his rookie season now, and we're all aware of the impact that he's had on the men's program. And Coach Nixon is entering her 21st, or you're either entering 21, you're entering 22. You've completed 21 seasons. So.
All right, it's going to take all of the restraint that I have not to raise my hands in the air and hoot and holler for the next 5 minutes because we're so excited about this day. It's a huge day for us to celebrate this building and the future of Utah Valley basketball that we're really excited about. I just want to recognize a couple things. One, we have former players here from the last 5 decades of Utah Valley basketball. I can't name them all, but I see Kevin Nixon back here, who was a legend. Marcel Davis just graduated for us. We also have a couple former coaches. There haven't been a lot of head coaches here, just a few. Really excited that Coach Anderson is here, who coached here in the 70s. He was only our second head coach. Coach Anderson, where are you? Thank you for coming, Coach Anderson. And then Coach Miner is here also. Coach coached here in the 80s. Thank you, Coach Miner. So Coach actually was the first coach to help a team to 20 wins here at Utah Valley. It was actually Utah Valley State College maybe at the time, and Utah Valley Technical College, and here we are now at Utah Valley University. I want to take 2 minutes and talk about big, giant, huge dreams and what I've learned about those in the last 14 months. And I want to start with a meeting that I had 14 months ago, almost to the day, in President Holland's office at 5:30 on a Monday afternoon. And I went to his office and had a few questions and concerns. I'd only been on the job for about 2 weeks that I just wanted to talk to him about. And I know a lot of us have been in one-on-one meetings with President Holland. And so 25 minutes later, I had the same reaction as you did. I walked out of the office and my head was spinning 100 miles an hour. because President Holland goes really fast and really big. And in that meeting, we talked about a few things. We talked about introducing the idea of building this building. And then a few minutes later, we talked in depth about the dire need we have for this building. And then within the end of the 20 minutes, the president had put his full support, the full weight of his support behind chasing this building and what it could do for our university. And I think because of the dignity of the office and the weight of the title of president, he's not allowed to say this, but what I really heard from him as I read between the lines as I left the office was, "Let's go, baby!" And all of us know President Holland and what he's done here at this university is truly amazing. The way he's grown it, the way he's made it functional for every single student here and student athlete to chase their dreams as hard as they can, and this building is going to play a huge role in that. So we hit the ground running, and I had the unique opportunity to spend a lot of time with Vice President Val Peterson. Now, if you know Val Peterson, he's the Vice President of the university. He's a general, like a real general. And he's also a congressman, okay? But of all the gifts that he has, the one that was most entertaining to watch in these meetings as we tried to find partners was his unique, great talent at twisting arms. It was fantastic and incredibly successful. And so what we learned really fast was that the partners that wanted to join with us were people that were really familiar with big dreams, with dreaming big, and there's nobody bigger than Keith Nellison. I mean, Keith Nellison is obviously an extraordinary business leader in our community and an unbelievable philanthropist, both privately and publicly, and the things that he's doing all over the community, but also in partnership with Utah Valley University. And Keith is also a really, really good personal friend and a great friend of this university. And for him and NUVI to jump in with the support that they did to really get this off the ground is so exciting. And you talk about big dreams. This, you know, I know Cameron and his team are here somewhere, but I haven't heard them say this, but I'm pretty sure that they think, you know, that they're pushing for in the next 12 or 24 months to be the social media analytical leaders in the world, right? They just built this amazing new building at the point of the mountain, and they're also naming this building NUVI Basketball Center, which we're so excited about. And then just going down the list, Jeff Sermon from UCCU. I don't know him well, but I had a chance to listen to him speak maybe a month ago at an event, and left the event so inspired, because here's an individual and a company. It's really a family company. It's amazing, that believes in chasing giant dreams and believes that how we do that here at Utah Valley University. And the Pugh family at Workers' Compensation and all their support, and Jeff Alexander, who's an iconic figure in our community, and Brandon and Jessica Hatch and Kurt, who have started in the last year this extraordinary clinical nutritional supplement company that's already probably in half the major university athletic departments in the country. It's so exciting how fast they're going, how hard they're chasing the scream. And everybody knows Todd Peterson at Vivid and everything he's done. All of these partners that have jumped in to help us with this building so kindly are chasing big dreams in their own right, and they could identify that in us, and that partnership is so exciting. And equally as exciting is the fact that this building is being built in large part by former players. We have a couple former players here. Ryan Toulson, who is the all-time leading scorer in the history of Utah Valley basketball. All-time leading scorer. Now, I do have, thank you, yeah. And I do have several guys on my team that on a daily basis claim that they're going to break that record. A couple of them happen to have your DNA and your last name. And so guys are chasing hard, but you think about a big dream guy. So Ryan grew up in Gilbert, Arizona, came here and was one of the leading scorers in the country, and then just 2 months ago was voted as the most popular basketball player in the entire country of Russia. That's amazing, okay? He's in the middle of an unbelievable basketball career overseas. Now, Ryan would tell you that he was voted most popular because of his stunningly handsome face. I think it's probably more due to his wife, who I've read chronicles of her saving her 3 young children from burning apartment buildings at 2 a.m. in the middle of St. Petersburg, Russia, which is so awesome. but really extraordinary example and his contribution, and the fact that he realizes what this university did for him and wants to give back to this basketball community is so exciting. And I think about Travis Hansen. Travis Hansen is Travis here? Trav, where are you at? There we are. Trav's here. Thank you. Let's give it up for Travis Hansen. So just really briefly about Travis Hansen. So Travis Hansen is he played here, played in the NBA, had a long, successful career overseas, and he's one of those rare athletes where playing in the NBA and successfully overseas is just going to be a tiny footnote in the chronicle of his life. Because what he's doing right now with his business ventures in Tasani and his philanthropic activity all over the world is truly remarkable. So Travis won't tell you this, but he just opened up a new living and care facility in his 9th foreign country for abandoned children. All over the world, his spread is reaching to do the things he's doing. So when we talk about people that are dreaming big, we are a community right now of people that are dreaming really, really big to do really, really special things. And with this building and this program, I think we're all headed in exactly the same direction. We are so grateful, so sincerely grateful for everybody's contribution. The fact that these young men that are here now can look to all of your example, and now will have the opportunity to chase their dreams with every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears, and 24/7 work, 365 days a year, which is an opportunity they haven't had, and doing that, of course, in total accord with NCAA rules. The fact that they have the opportunity to chase it like that is a genuine, genuine gift with which we're so grateful. You will see incredibly special things coming out of this Utah Valley basketball program, and we are grateful that you're a part of it. Thank you guys so much.
This is awesome. The most important thing I want to convey today is just gratitude. Just really grateful for everyone and their support, especially for NUVI. Coach Pope went down and thanked each person individually. I might be one of the only people here who actually got to see Ryan Tolson play and score all those points. He didn't pass very often. I think that might be a key to gaining that stat. I also had the chance to watch Travis Hansen play here. He had a special career here. I watched Travis Hansen shatter a backboard in a summer tournament. BYU was there recruiting. We were a junior college at the time, and I knew he was going to be offered a full-ride scholarship after that. They like people that shatter backboards over there. In the 25 years that I've been here at UVU, I think that we've continued to break ground. I also have some players here. I tried to round up some of the former coaches, but I've been here so long that they're in nursing homes now, so they couldn't get out and make it. But some of my former players are here. One, Stephanie Richter's here. She was here when it was just a junior college. When we didn't, I was actually an assistant coach. She's standing in the back. She has a lot of kids now. They're running around. But this was just a dirt parking lot. There weren't any paved parking lots at that time. I literally think that's true. It was all just dirt. And we got really muddy, but we had a good time, and we dug ground in building this program. I also have some former players that were here my very first season. I was 27 years old. We won 29 games, and I thought coaching was really easy. Bobita Sonnenberg and her husband Ken. Bobita was supposed to be having a baby today. She decided not to, and she came. Ken also played here at Utah Valley for our men's program. I introduced him together in the whirlpool in the training room, so I kind of take credit for that. Julie Hansen is here. Kristen Poole, Coco Brown. They were on my very first team. I also have my current team here and my current coaching staff. I just want to thank them. It's been all about breaking ground. We broke ground when we went from the PE building to the David O. McKay Event Center, now the UCCU Center. We broke ground when we broke unprecedented territory and going from junior college straight to Division I. When we went into the Great West Athletic Conference, we broke ground. We also broke ground when we went into the Western Athletic Conference. But there's probably never been a more exciting day than today in the history of UVU women's basketball. We've had some adventures in practicing here. I had a memory this morning when I was running. It's not pretty when I run. It's slow. It looks like walking sometimes. But I was running, and I was thinking about some of the practices we had. And literally, we had lions and tigers and bears and circus people and motocross and horses and all kinds of things going on. One day, particular up at the PE gym, I believe there were 5 different teams practicing on the same court. From the men's volleyball team, we had baseball players, we had rugby players, there were some cheerleaders and some shot putters, all on the same floor. Coach Hunsaker actually got hit with a shot put one day, and that wasn't pretty. But we have been about breaking ground. It's an awesome day. We give our commitment to you as UVU women's basketball that we will dig in our shovels. We will raise this program to a level of championship that you all will be proud of. Our young ladies work out at 5:30 in the morning, lifting weights and training. We've been very successful and will continue to be, mostly because of the support of you and the hard work of our young ladies. Thank you very much.
Thanks. I don't know Coach Nixon very well. Know Mark really well. And if you really want someone to get you excited, you get Mark. And if you really, really want them to get excited, you get Leanne up here. So grateful Leanne's here and my wife. We really should probably have had them speak. But they said it was up to us. I got to know Mark, over at BYU, and just thought he was an exceptional person, and Leanne as well. And then I got to know President Holland a little bit as he brought us in and talked to us about the Center for Autism. And when they started looking for a coach, I was kind of a little bit of the dating game for whatever. And I said, Mark, you just need to meet President Holland, and President Holland, you just need to meet Mark, and in 5 minutes, you guys will figure out whether you want to do this or not. And I think it worked that way. But, UVU is a special place in our community. When I came here 20, 30 years ago, it was Utah Valley Technical College, and my college roommate took diesel mechanic school here, and that's what I thought this school was. And when we moved back here 20 years ago, I don't even know really what it was, but now it's where our kids go to school. More of our kids will go here than anywhere. And we, in the last 12 months, I guess, we've been involved with 4 groundbreakings, 3 of them for practice facilities, and our kids don't play sports. And people have asked me, why do you do this? This Autism Center was really easy why we do it. And it's because I grew up in a town without a college. And it's a great town, Idaho Falls, Idaho. Up north of us, we had Rexburg, which had Ricks College. And south of us, we had Pocatello, which had Idaho State University. And as I got away, I noticed that that's what brings a community together. And the thing that connects a community to a college is sports. And people can say, oh, it's not, but my belief is it is. There's only 2 things that connect us, that bring us back to our college, and that is we come back for a sporting event or we come back to bring our kids, right? And that only happens a little bit of time. And I've watched Rexburg, Idaho transition to no college sports, and they've lost the connection from the community. And so here at UVU, as it's grown from this tiny technical college into, I believe, the largest public-funded university in the state of Utah, we need to build that connection, and in my opinion, basketball is going to be that connection. But you only get connected to an athletic program if it wins, and if it wins championships. That's what connects you. People don't get connected to teams that don't win and win championships. And in today's day and age, if you want to win and win championships and build a great program, you have to have facilities to go out and recruit the best players to come that they feel they can be developed in. And it's hard to develop them in the PE practice gym. You know, it's hard to develop them when Cody Fugger, who's awesome, sending me a picture of a camel outside his office. And I came walking over here one day to watch him practice, and I walk in and I'm like, where are you guys? There was a home show or something like that inside of there. So I believe with this facility, UVU will be able to compete where they compete in the Western Athletic Conference at a high level. You'll probably be the second program to have a practice facility, and that will allow them to attract better players to go out and compete at a higher level. And I know that Mark doesn't just want to, win, have a winning record, win the WAC. He wants to go to the NCAA tournament and win. And Coach Nixon, I don't know you, but I would assume from listening to you, that's the same thing you want. And that's how you connect a community to a school, right? If it's the old saying, build it and they will come, win and they will come. That's what we want to be about. We want to be about this community. We live here. We've sunk roots in here. We love Utah County. And because of what it's done for our family. NUVI is a place that we try to recreate the college team atmosphere. We believe in teams. I love being around teams. I love being around sports teams. And it's because it's a special, special place where people can learn special things. And my growing up, I grew up in Idaho in the early 80s, and I was a basketball kid. And back then you picked sides, right? You were a Magic Johnson fan, you were a Larry Bird fan, or you were a Dr. J fan, and you picked sides. And back then they all didn't go play together, right? And I was a Magic Johnson fan, and he was my guy. And over time, I've studied his life and what he did, and what Magic did was he was the best teammate, I think, ever. And his name Magic came from the fact that, we all think he made magic on the court, but there was that he magically made everybody else better. And that's the power of great teams. And you don't see that. It's the thing I miss most. And what I love about what we're doing at NUVI and Macaulay and all those places is we're trying to build a place where great teammates can come. And so my hope for all you guys that are going to be able to, and women who are going to be able to use this facility, is that you come out of here and that you're a great teammate. If you don't, then you missed out. And if you're a great teammate, you'll go back and you'll build your community and hopefully stay here and continue to help us build our community, and learn to be a star in your role. That's Tristan Thompson. If you guys heard that, he kept saying being a star in your role. That's being a great teammate. And we're proud to partner again with UVU on this. We're excited. Our team at NUVI's excited. I hope that we can all continue to find ways to improve our community for our families, for their families, for generations to come. UVU is a magical place. It's amazing to me what they've done. President Holland should be, they should have a statue out here when he's done. And I say that sincerely. What he's done for this community in building this university for our kids will have a lasting effect for a long, long time. So again, on behalf of NUVI and Macaulay and my family and the whole community. We'd like to thank UVU, Mark Pope, President Holland, and we're excited for this facility. And with that comes a big expectation. You know, maybe you'll precede the completion of it with a little championship. That would be nice. Don't want to set the bar too high, but that's kind of the expectation. So thank you.
So I've only cried at 2 groundbreakings, and they've all happened in the last 45 days, and it was both when Keith was speaking. So thank you, Keith. The fact of the matter is Keith cost me money. I have had to hire a full-time staff to put on events and build programs and facilities that Keith makes possible. So extraordinarily grateful to both Keith and Melissa, both for this event and for the Autism Center. I know some of you were here for that. That was an extraordinary event. There's not a more pressing public health issue that our community's facing, and these folks step forward, and we're going to make not just a meaningful difference, but a meaningful difference on scale. And you've just begun to see what's going to happen there, and the same is true of what's happening in basketball. This is a monumental day for UVU basketball, for UVU athletics, for the university, and for Matt Holland personally. This is a moment of personal redemption for Matt Holland. I don't often brag about my basketball career, as impressive as it was, but I'm going to take a few minutes today, given the audience in front of me. So I made the 9th grade basketball team at Mill Creek Junior High in Bountiful as an 8th grader. I was one of 3 8th graders. Yeah, I had it. Promise looked bright. It was exciting times. I was working with agents. And then my dad got a new job somewhere at another educational institution somewhere in the valley. We had to move to Provo. And I went to Provo High, and I walked in the first day of Provo High to the gymnasium, and I saw 8 state championship banners. And that was my first signal I was in a sort of a different element of basketball. And so anyway, I made the team, but maybe in the worst of all possible worlds, I made an 11-man team that only had 10 uniforms. This is not a good situation to be in as an insecure 9th grader, okay? So what that meant is we had this really, really good team, and I was on the team, and we would play, and about the time we would be ahead by about 75 points, the coach would put me in, and I would go in my practice jersey, okay? So already you're sort of this beacon of nerdiness. And at this point, the other team has totally given up. The defense is broken down. And I would trot down the court. I'd be passed on the wing, and I would shoot. And because of the nerves and everything you can imagine a little 9th grader was feeling, the ball would sail over the rim every time. And then the chanting would start, air ball, air ball, air ball. And it was my own teammates. Now, I'm not going to name names, but 3 of them were called Santiago. So we didn't. I didn't exactly revolutionize basketball at Provo High, but we're going to revolutionize basketball at Utah Valley University, and we're on our way. And before I get into just a few things I want to say about those who've made this possible, can you join me in thanking our staff, starting with these really cool invitations. How cool were those invitations? But to our development staff, to our athletics folks, everyone who's come together, please let us thank you for another outstanding event here at UVU. So in terms of how we've gotten here today, we have an extraordinary program. We're sorry that Vince Odepal, our athletic director, couldn't be here for an unbreakable commitment somewhere else, but Val Peterson, as vice president, they're not, I'll just be very frank about this, there are not many universities where the vice president of administration and finance has responsibility for athletics. But this is a reflection of Val's passion about athletics, his vision, and also his ability to be out in the community as a legislator and work with facilities and bring it all together in a way that I think has really pushed us forward. We've built off a great tradition, but I'm grateful for Val's leadership, for Vince's, and for our outstanding coaches. Kathy, over 350 wins in her time here at UVU. And it hasn't really been remarked today, but let me say it, because as someone who loves athletics, but who's also in his heart of hearts an educator, Kathy has produced some of truly the finest academic teams that have played basketball in the entire nation. And she's won awards for that, and we commend her for that. So. And then Coach Pope. I remember that meeting that we're celebrating nearly the anniversary of, but I'm not sure whose head was spinning after that meeting. He put a nice spin on that, but I think I came in and told him, the team could play in my driveway to practice, and then somehow we left the meeting and I had committed to a new facility. So I think that's how that meeting worked. And Keith Nellison's dating game theory is exactly the way that worked. It was, we were sitting actually right in that Restaurant Forte, getting ready for the scholarship ball. And he leaned over to him, he says, you got to meet this guy. That's about all he said, but he said, you've got to meet him. Just trust me, don't do anything until you meet him, and then let's talk if we need to. And that's about all it took. I also see Kurt Kimball here, my great doctor. His dad, Cy Kimball, Mr. BYU Athletics, Cy Kimball. I did call Cy, he's a friend. I said, Cy, who's out there? Knowing that Cy just knows athletics and watches. And he said, well, I do have a great suggestion for you. And I said, what is it? He said, get anybody but Mark Pope, who was at BYU at the time. So, of course, that's what I went and did. And hopefully Cy's still talking to me. Mark, what you've done already has just been extraordinary. The energy, the enthusiasm, what we see happening here, the community presence, the visibility of the program, and we're just a year into it. And a year where we had injuries and transfer issues and transition issues. I am so proud of you, and I'm so proud of our guys who played this last year. They so far exceeded, I think, the expectations anyone had from them, which is testimony to you as the coach, but also to their heart. Would you join me in complimenting these guys for their first inaugural year in the Coach Pope era? But we are so excited about the future. What this facility is going to do, an 8,000 square foot facility, is going to have a game day atmosphere. It's going to create office spaces where the interaction between the coaches and the staff and the players can be more effective. It's already been spoken to about what a recruiting advantage it will bring to us. And then the statement of it, that we have it and that it's branded with NUVI. That was important to Mark. It became important to me, not just that we have support, but we have the right kind of support. And what Keith is doing with NUVI and in business, this is the mark of what UVU wants to do and aspire to. So we love these partnerships and the symbolism of it that comes together. But it's really that feel that Coach Pope, more than anybody, has brought to the table with us for this new era. As you know, he's got an unusual style when it comes to celebration. And although he's learned that I can return fire with water balloons as well as anybody, that's, I guess, the preferred form of celebration after a victory. He'll be glad I opted not to bring my water cannon to that Chicago State game. But that's what Mark brings, is without losing any of the seriousness of what this is about. And by the way, this is a very serious thing. We talk about being a serious university. That's one of several core themes. And when I talk about athletics at UVU, I talk about it under the rubric of being a serious university. Some people that doesn't work for, they think that's just an academic value. Absolutely not. Athletics is our chance to show what excellence is all about. And so that's what we're building here at UVU, and Coach Pope and Coach Nixon and our athletic staff are all about that. And I guess that's what I want to finish on here today to say, is that this is so important for basketball. And by implication and connection, it's going to make the world of difference for the rest of athletics. But this is about something larger. As Coach Pope talks about big dreams, we've got big dreams for this whole university. We intend to be the very best university that does what we do. We are a high-access institution where anybody who wants a chance at education gets it. And for that kind of an institution, we're going to be the very best in the nation. And what we do will be the very best in the nation. And so we want our basketball team to reflect that. And so with that, I have one thing to say. Let's go, baby! Okay, we need to put some shovels in the ground. So if our two head coaches would join us, Coach Pope and Coach Nixon, and Keith Nellison. And we're going to have to do this in a few waves, so we'll start with this first wave. Our all-stars, Travis Hansen and Ryan Toulson, if they will come up, and then Jeff Alexander from Alexander's Print, Jessica Hatch from Forte Elements, Jeff Sermon from Utah Community Credit Union, and Brian Morris from Workers' Compensation Fund for round one.